Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, we're here. It's time. Race review. So, first of all, I do apologize for this video coming out a little later. Just a lot of things taking place. Basically, the race getting pushed back to Monday. The race started when I actually had to work. I had to work at 4 o'clock, so I had to wait to come home, and then I watched it. Then I went to take a shower, so you might see a little bit of water on my shirt here. So, yeah, it's definitely been a while since the race gets officially finished, but either way, we're here. So, what's there to say? Of course, we're reviewing two races, but first, I was gonna say, I was relatively disappointed by this race, or races, we should say. Now, after seeing the practice sessions, I definitely felt like, okay, this could be a shit show. Now, it really was. It definitely was. The track was not well maintained. Of course, on the broadcast, everybody was saying it was maintained great. It wasn't. This track was getting holes in it after 5 laps. Like, it dried out instantly, and there was just dust everywhere. These are all issues that I didn't really remember seeing when we raced the trucks in Eldora, back 2013 to 2019. I don't know. I think that this race was poorly managed, both of them, especially the truck race. That race was absolutely terrible. But I feel the issue is Bristol's not meant to be a dirt track. Dirt tracks don't necessarily have that much banking. Like, you look at a lot of dirt tracks and they're relatively, and there's banking, but there's not like a wild amount of banking. And when you think about how Eldora raced, that's what everybody was back to. Eldora was the standard that, most people have. Like, unless you're, 70, 80, you don't really remember these dirt races happening. And even then, they weren't really on TV. Like, there's not really that connection to a dirt race with cup cars. All we have is the hears from, racing the trucks on it. So that's the only connection most people have to NASCAR on dirt is the truck race at Eldora. And the way that worked, it was brilliant. Trucks could run the bottom, you could run the top, you could run the middle a little bit if you wanted. I felt this race just didn't have that. Either one was kind of just ride the bottom. It was just like you're racing regular Bristol. The high lane didn't really come in. I really wanted to see someone take the bottom, somebody ride the top, ride the wall. It just didn't happen. So I was overall disappointed when they announced that the track was coming back next year. I was definitely, I guess a bit disappointed. I was definitely so hyped for this race. Like, if you see some of my previews from the season, it's just been, hyped to see Bristol dirt. But it never was hype for Bristol. You can go back to my season schedule preview video from whenever they announced it back in October, November, December, whenever they announced that last year. I was definitely skeptical about Bristol dirt. I think seeing cup cars on dirt is awesome. And I really wanted Eldora, but I just think that doing it at Bristol is not a brilliant idea. So, if they want to race Bristol, if they want to race dirt, I'd love to see another race at Eldora. But this, not a fan. Not a fan. Gonna be honest with you. So I guess we get into the truck race first. That was a complete disaster. The truck race, we had 13 laps without a caution, and somebody's spinning out, someone's got a flat tire. Let's call out Goodyear here for making an absolute shit tire that fell apart after 2 laps on dirt. Goodyear doesn't get called out. Everybody's like, oh, it's not Goodyear's fault. They're the ones making the tires. Goodyear's always got some stupid shit happening with their tires. It's always Goodyear's fault. Everybody's like, oh, we can't blame them. Blame them. I know they're a sponsor and they pay a lot of money, so you can't blame them. But I can. I have no involvement. Goodyear's tires are absolute shit at racing. I've seen it for years. Like, these tires just... There was something stupid happening with them. Nobody ever blames Goodyear. Well, it's their fault. They brought a shit tire. Like, come on, guys. In these cup races, they had to have extra cautions on purpose to change tires. Like, come on. It's stupid. But either way, the truck race was just a complete mess. Everybody's crashing all the time. And it's just... I wasn't a fan. Again, I was looking forward to seeing a dirt race, but this one for me is not it. I mean, Martin Truex dominated, which is very surprising to see. But he's the 36th driver to get a win in all three series, so it's kind of interesting. It's very weird Martin Truex kind of not having a truck win. But either way, guess we'll look at some results from that race. Now that we're on it, there were a few incidents, but, you know, we had John Hunter Nemechek getting crashed out. I mean, Kyle Larson had a massive crash into somebody. I don't know who he hit into. I don't remember. One of those slow back of the field guys. Do you have a number here? Who it was? Somebody he hit into, though. They had a flat tire. I think it was 50 something. It was only 52 or 53 or 56, maybe. I don't know. One of those, I think it was 56. I think it was Mike Marlar. I think it was him. He had a flat tire. And Sheldon Creed was in front of Kyle Larson. Sheldon Creed moves down. Kyle Larson just slams in the back of 56 there. Took Larson out, but Larson wasn't in a good truck. His own a Nice truck didn't really go well for him. So yeah, Martin Truex absolutely dominated that. Led 105 laps. Next closest was Sheldon Creed with 38 there in the beginning, but Truex absolutely killed it. Anybody else here notable? Chase Briscoe top 5. That's pretty interesting. Again, not a race normal says, but of normal series drivers, Ben Rhodes, another solid day. Rafael Lessard up there. Todd Gilliland, some of these drivers getting good results, helping them the points. We don't normally ever talk about the trucks. And honestly, I want to be honest with you, we don't talk about the trucks because I don't want to put more time to making videos. I don't want to have to do 2 more videos a weekend. That's honestly why I love watching the truck races. The Xfinity Series is there. I don't really pay attention to that. I haven't pretty much all year. I'll sort of tune into that for big races, so... yes. Said series. It's always happened to me since I've had Apple devices. I said series, the way I say it activates Siri on my watch, or my phone, or my iPad, or my MacBook, or my HomePod. One of them gets triggered by, I don't think the computer, but one of the devices that's around always getting triggered by it. Either way, Xfinity Series, not really something I'm into, but it's a lot more to produce and edit, and I'm just sort of like, eh. But, yeah, good points there for those drivers. Of course, we're not going to have a race that Kevin Harvick said and not mention him. Kevin Harvick got 15th, which was, solid for Kevin Harvick on a dirt race. Cool to see him in the trucks, though. I was so hyped. The funny thing was, I was looking at buying different diecasts, right? That's the thing that I have. We've seen some of the videos. You've seen the videos. I mean, they're out. People know that I have different ones. And I was looking for a truck. I love the trucks, like I said. And, really couldn't find any Kevin Harvick trucks. Luckily, he did a truck race, and I pre-ordered it. So, as long as they produce it, we'll be getting that. And of course, my pick to win this race, Haley Deegan, got 19th. So, she was up there, I believe, to about 13th or 14th. She was close to the front, but I don't necessarily really know what happened there for her. She just sort of fell back a little bit. I mean, I would have liked to seen what she could have done had it came to the heat race. She was supposed to be first in one of those, so I was looking forward to seeing what she'd do in that. But nobody could really pass. That's the other issue here. We didn't talk about that, but nobody could really pass in this race. So, trucks on dirt was super disappointing. It was kind of lame because I hype up certain races, so to tell my brother about him because he's not really into watching NASCAR. I mean, he's had to watch when he was little. When he was younger, he had to watch all the races, but it's not something he's really into. So when a big race comes up, I'm like, oh, this is going to be exciting. And then it turns into a complete disaster, and I'm just like, isn't really helping with my case to get him to watch races with me, but that's nonetheless. Yeah. Let's switch to the Cup Series side. Cup race was better, let's be honest here. It was better, but they were not controlling the dust. That was a terrible idea. We at least need wipers on these windows of the cars. I think that having the dirt and mud just stick to the window is stupid. And if we're doing that with these cars, let's put something there so the drivers can at least see and not all crash into each other. Because I'm all for a crash in a race. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't like watching crashes. I'm going to be honest, I watched crashing highlights on YouTube. People edit together races from the last 10, 15 years, and I watch those. I'm not going to lie. But I also want to see if a crash happens from something just happen in a race and the driver can't see. That's just stupid. If somebody makes a mistake in a turn and causes a big pileup, all for it. Awesome. That's what makes the racing exciting. Somebody makes a mistake. But because somebody can't put water on a track and maintain it for more than 5 laps, I'm out on that. So, that big pileup, Brian Blaney, Kyle Busch, all of them on the front straight, was not a fan of that at all. I'll be honest. The crash that Almirola had earlier in the race, that's all. That's the race. Ryan Newman's spin where he didn't get crashed. Kevin Harvick went into Chase Briscoe. Briscoe got yeeted into the wall. I mean, he was pretty high up there. Also, there was no safer barriers in this race. I thought it really matters lower speeds, but the safer barriers were not there. Just because they didn't really work with the dirt. I mean, safer barriers are meant to move on impact, so if somebody hits a safer barrier, it's going to push and all the dirt's going to fall where that barrier is. It's not going to work anyways. That's the trick about safer barriers, actually. I didn't know that they could do that, if I'm honest. I knew that, obviously when the safer barrier was introduced in the early 2000s, that it's, attached, but I kind of thought it was permanently attached. I didn't really think it was something you would remove. Considering new tracks are built with it. I believe Iowa, the short track, has the safer barrier built in as the wall, but I didn't really realize that they took it out, but I guess that makes sense because it was an addition to most racetracks. But I think the crash that really stands out is Christopher Bell spinning and getting Kyle Larson involved. Two of the favorites to win, Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. If you picked one or the other, most people had those as your winners. You had Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell. Pretty much since this race got announced. Or at least, I believe Kyle Larson was allowed back, or he was announced back by then. I don't know. Either way, pretty much since Kyle Larson was announced back, Christopher Bell was, been there. It was pretty much like one of these drivers is going to win this race. And they were testing the high lane. Christopher Bell was, and he lost it a little bit, spun sideways, Kyle Larson came right in and hit him. So that was wild to see both those drivers out. Christopher Bell completely out of the race. Kyle Larson out of contention at that point. Once they did get the dust issue sorted out later on in the race, it was a little better. A bit weird that they went single file restarts. I was kind of like fast forwarding through. I didn't really hear why they went to single file, but it was very interesting to see single file restarts. I mean, I was in single file restarts since I was little. When they changed that, like 2007, 2008, I think it was when the car tomorrow was racing. So, I'll be honest, one of my favorite car designs, Car Tomorrow. I believe it was that in 2008. The cars just couldn't like pass each other that well on the track. So, I mean, I haven't seen a single file restart since I was like 9. So when I looked up and saw a single file restart, I'm just like, oh, single file restart. Or, fast forward and saw a little box pop up at the bottom on YouTube TV's little scrolling box. And I'm just like, okay, we're doing single file restarts. Nice. But it was a little weird, but that kind of helped a little bit, but it also kind of took away from the race because the point in double file restarts is to help the cars pass. And when you all start to single file, it kind of just becomes single file very quickly because you start that way. So it kind of, took away from that a little bit, but it had to be done. So, let's look at the results here. This is the entry, that's not results. Alright, so Joey Logano got the win. Again, once Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson were out, it was anybody's game. And I gotta mention also Daniel Suarez led, how many laps did he lead? 58? That was pretty impressive. Seeing Suarez out there leading laps more than he's led in probably most of his career. I don't remember him doing anything in the 19 or the 41, so. Or the 96. He was in the 96. Was it 96 last year? I don't know. Yeah. Suarez definitely been bounced around for some teams, but, did solid there. But yeah, that was good for him, leading some laps. Trackhouse, their first laps led it pretty much, I believe, as a team. I don't remember him leading laps. Maybe Daytona he led a lap or two, but I don't remember leading laps outside of that. So pretty cool to see them lead some laps as a team. Yeah, so that's the thing. What else do we got? I mean, Ricky Stenhouse in second. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say on Kyle Larson was that he was absolutely running through the field after starting in last, or pretty much last from the engine change. I mean, he was up to 6th or 7th. I think he was up to 5th at one point, actually, in that first stage. So, solid for him. But, again, Joey Logano winning. Pretty surprising there. 2 for 2 for these announcers that do, or drivers that announced the race before. I mentioned it during the truck race. And, Ryan Blaney won last week, and Joey Logano won now. So, whoever's announcing next week, or in 2 weeks on Fox, get yourself a dub. Yeah, everybody lining up to announce for Fox now. Other notable names here. I mean, Ryan Newman with a 5th place finish. That's solid. Eric Jones in 9th. It's pretty cool. Brad Keselowski in 11th. He was kind of just like there. I mean, he got 11th. Of course, always going to mention Kevin Harvick. He got 15th in this race. So pretty much 15th all day. Both races. That's not bad considering the incidents that he got involved in. I believe 2 crashes he had, so solid for him. Kurt Busch in 16th, didn't hear him mentioned once. Kyle Busch in 17th, he had an eventful day. Love to see an interview of him after this race. Martin Truex in 19th, he led 126 laps. Absolutely fantastic day for him in Bristol. Won the stage 1, but tire issue going the turn on the in the overtime restart, and he was pretty much out. Chase Briscoe in 20th. That's a solid recovery for him. He also involved in a few incidents. First car 1 lap down. Stuart Friesen 23rd in his debut for whatever team, but his first start in this series, pretty good. Bubba Wallace 27th. He had a solid run going. So unfortunate for him. He had a flat tire, and also I want to say NASCAR didn't call a caution for him spinning, but they call a caution for everything else all the time. Very, very weird that they didn't call a caution for Bubba Wallace getting a flat tire and spinning out. Kyle Larson had 248 laps completed. That's not bad considering how that car looked. But yeah, that's not what. If you look at the dirt race, if I told you Kyle Larson was going to finish 29th, Chris was going to finish 34th, I don't think I would have believed that. But yeah, the way Kyle Larson's car looked was stupid. The thing was a mess. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed to see Bristol dirt back. I love they did the Cup cars in the dirt. I'm excited about it still. I'm hopeful for dirt racing with trucks. It was fun from 2013 to 2019 at Eldora. But I'd like to see a traditional dirt track. I'd like to see a track that's meant for dirt. Now, of course, given it was the first year at Bristol, it had its problems. You know, give them another year maybe, and it'll be good. But overall, the hype of this first, Cup race on dirt, 51 years, you heard that over and over all weekend. It was a bit shit. I'm not going to lie. So, whatever. Hopefully, if, dirt racing catches on, maybe we can add another dirt track in there somewhere. Maybe get Eldora on the schedule as well. I'd love to see racing at Eldora. Eldora's a great track. Tony Stewart got absolutely fucked over by having the race taken away from him by that. And yeah, he wanted this for years, and they sort of said, "No, we're not doing it. We're going to keep this as a thing for the trucks." And then they took his race away. And also put the Cups on dirt at Bristol and gave the trucks a second race. Let's not forget that the trucks are doing a second dirt race this year. They are doing the dirt race at Knoxville. Okay? July 9th, they're doing another dirt race. So, they took away Tony Stewart's dirt race and then gave it to another track that wasn't even on the schedule. Like, that's wild. Either way, April 10th, 7:30 p.m., we have a Saturday edition of racing and of this series for you guys. So Saturday on the 10th, we are racing at Martinsville. Of course, next Sunday is the birthday of the baby Jesus. So we won't have a race because, again, baby Jesus' birthday. So we'll be off next Sunday. But in just about 2 weeks, we'll be back. So, again, enjoy the baby Jesus' birthday. Eat some Easter eggs. And, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.